This thing's got a crack in it. No. The observer says, just hurry up, freezing. I'm assuming she was pointing to something on the disc, but the observer thinks it's okay. So we'll take the observer's word for it.
Nice pull from Alberta.
Yeah. Manitoba with their 1-point lead.
Oh, close D there.
Amy Lamb put that one into a pile of people, and it's going to fall to the ground. So Manitoba not able to put it in on that possession. Alberta will take it over right at their own goal line. Did she pull that one up off of the sod? It looks like it. Nicely done by Megan Johnston.
Yeah, Megan Johnston has been one of their key players all weekend. She's a really great cutter. She uses her speed to get open, and then you see she makes grabs like that that make her a very big part of this team.
Well, there's a turnover though. Manitoba is going to make a go for it very quickly. Into the end zone, tight coverage, nope. Had a chance there. Shelley Lamb was in the area, but the disc hung up a bit and a couple of defenders got in there, and then there were just too many hands for Lamb to be able to play it cleanly. And look at that swat coming in late from Erin Bethune to break it up. Well played.
Yeah, great pressure there by Alberta. Manitoba just kind of rushing things a little bit on this point. They're getting open, but then not taking a second to just breathe and look at their receivers, and have just had a couple of missed throws.
Wow, nice job. Oof, pulled that one out of the defender's hands. Oh, but then down it goes to the ground, and have a penalty? No, I guess not. Everything's good.
Just a little bit of contact there. I think
Casey.
she might have thought it was a foul, but she dropped it anyways, so.
Yeah, that's right. No use arguing. You got the disc, the disc. And they've got it in the end zone. There it is, floating to Shelley Lamb. And Manitoba beginning to assert themselves again. Boy, the momentum this way, that way, then this way again as Manitoba back out into a 2-point lead.
Yeah, you can see that throw there. She did actually take a second, look for her receiver, and great put into the end zone. Gave her lots of time to run into it, and just defenders weren't able to catch up.
Erin Bethune was chasing, but by the time she arrived on the scene, it was all over, and a 2-point lead for the University of Manitoba. Shelley Lamb with the point, and she'll grab a drink on the sideline and then probably get under that blanket and save the body heat. 18 minutes into our 1 hour, 15-minute game. Again, we play up to 15. There will be a halftime break. At this rate, it looks like we'll take that break when one of the teams gets to 8. That's the pace we're playing at now. I don't anticipate this half going to become a factor on the clock. Back comes Alberta. From the middle of the field, a low toss, and it's a little too low, and Heather Shields can't pull it up off of the grass.
Great D by Manitoba there. It looks like she was able to just get a piece enough to knock that disc into the ground.
Over to the far side, it goes from Soriano. Zhu, near side now. Warren has it. And they're working back and forth, looking for something open down the field. Down the sidelines, there's a nice carve, and it's not quite at the end zone. Very, very close, but on the doorstep. Is this one gonna be over the line? Not quite, they're trying. Zhu has it. She's got a open player in the end zone, and yep, there's the signal. Another score for the University of Manitoba. They were right along that goal line, working it back and forth. Take a look at the turnover that led to the play in this pass right down the sideline. Great job carving it around the defenders, and that put them right on the goal line. And then there was a back and forth before finally in it went. And now Manitoba with that 3-point lead restored. They were out to a quick 3-0 advantage and then saw it slip away, but here they go again. 2 fist pumps for Manitoba in their 3-point lead.
Yeah, they're doing a great job of using that break side. One of the hardest things about Ultimate is getting the disc over to that break side, but once you do, there's usually no defenders over there, so Manitoba taking advantage of that.
Everybody's ready?
Casey Hunt seems to be the elected puller for Manitoba.
Got it down there a long way, and Brooks picks it up into the middle to McCourt, back to Brooks. Thought about the left side, but got to McCourt. Brooks and McCourt just playing a little bit of back and forth now, waiting. There's something open in the middle, and they'll make their way up. Johnson dropped it to McCourt. Claire McCourt to Bethune. Quickly down the right sideline, but too quickly, in fact.
Yeah, it looks like there was just a little bit of a miscommunication there. She thought Megan Johnston was going for that deep cut, but she just kind of stopped at the last moment and didn't realize that the disc was going to end up there.
Tight defense, way down deep in that Manitoba zone, but they scratch their way out about 15, 20 meters, and they continue to work. Their 3-point advantage. Nice quick forehand through the middle is good, and then the backhand, and this will set them up within striking distance. And watch this. Oh, just out of the reach. It was a wide open play into the end zone, and Shelley Lamb had a pretty good head of steam, but it was put a little too far.
That was great offense by Manitoba. They didn't hang on to that disc for too long and kept it moving, and now Alberta has another chance to get it back here.
Bethune has it away down the field as Alberta needs to put something together here and stop the Manitoba momentum. McCourt and Brooks. A lot of those two at the back. What are the reference terms you guys use in this sport for those players that stand back there and set things up?
Handlers. They're the people that spend the most time with the disc, usually your most confident throwers. Yeah, we've seen those two. Because Manitoba has been playing zone most of the time, it becomes pretty heavy on the handlers to move the disc and find those open holes for the cutters to get into.
From their own end, Mackenzie Hayward. That one a little bit too low through the middle to Shelley Lamb, and Manitoba gives it away. Alberta need to answer. Megan Johnston put it back to McCourt. She'll take a look around. Brooks, near side, Johnston. The give and go, and here's a shot into the scoring zone, and Alberta answers.
Great cut by Bethune there. It looked like there was a little bit of miscommunication on the Manitoba side. Nobody really picked her up in the end zone there, and she was able to get the wide open score.
Well, that was the turnover that led to the sequence of events ending with a score. There's nobody here. It's just me, Aaron Bethune, with the point. Yeah, I'm invisible. Deal with it.
Great offense by Alberta there. They moved the disc quickly and got into their stack in the end zone very quickly, and that led to the wide open cut for Bethune.
Stack in the end zone.
So a stack is what we call when everyone's in a line, basically. And all it does is opens up the end zone for one cutter, so you all are kind of in a line in the middle, and then you usually have a designated play, or you call a person that's going to cut, so then it's just them in the wide open space, and you don't have a bunch of cluttered people.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm learning, folks. Not a sport that's got the 600-page rule book, but there are some technicalities to it that are fun to learn, and once you do, it's pretty easy to follow what's going on, and a delightful sport to watch. And you will see through the course of the game, we've seen some already, amazing catches.
So you can see the observer here is saying that the disc did land out. We refer to that as a brick, and Manitoba will get this in the middle of the field.
Olivia Zhu. There we go. She's calling out some instructions and ultimately has to go back to Soriano. And Zhu again. Right side, Linda Lamb. Put it deep. And look at that. Wow, not quite in the end zone, but very close. And Manitoba almost struck with a long toss, but now they're set up just outside the goal line, and there is a wide open receiver in the left side of that end zone. It's Linda Lamb, and she's got it. 7-4 Manitoba.
Well, this was a great put and awesome cut by Brianna Warren. She was wide open. Her defender was way behind her, and then as we've seen, Manitoba using that break side so well and finds the wide open receiver. So if you're not familiar with the term, the break side is the side that the defense is not forcing the disc to. So you'll see the person, when they're marking up on the person with the disc, they're forcing them to throw the disc a certain way or a certain side of the field. And the rest of the downfield defenders will be standing on that side of the disc, or the force side is what we call it. So if the thrower is able to get it to the break side, then usually there should be a cutter going to that side that will be wide open because their defender will be trailing on the force side.
Got it.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally understood that. I'm getting good.
So Manitoba's doing a great job of using that. Casey Hunt with the pull again.
Are you ready? Here it comes.
Well, this is our moment.
I'm fine. I'll just let that drop if you don't mind. Yeah, no, see, there we are.
They heard us that we want to get in the game.
Sure, yeah. Yeah. So it's a brick. And
You are learning.
yeah, well, sure. I only have to, you can ask my wife, my friends. You tell me something once, it's in there. Mind like a steel trap.
Well,
At least I used to think so. Here we go, another turnover.
Manitoba's zone paying off there.
Yeah, Shelley Lamb with the knockdown, and now they're going to try and make Alberta pay for the miscue. Lamb has it. Work it in step at a time, slowly. And there it is. Into the end zone, Amy Lamb, and it's 8-4, and that should bring about the halftime break as Manitoba came out and very quickly established a 3-0 lead, and this is .8 for them. They gave up the big lead, but have built it back up now, and Bobby, it's looking like Manitoba is going to have to give Alberta a break or two if they're going to let this slip away, because it's been somewhat dominating. We'll talk more about it when we get back in a moment. The Canadian Prairie University Ultimate Championships are on Max TV, local on demand. Second half set to go. 8-4 the advantage right now. The University of Manitoba ahead of the University of Alberta. It's the Canadian Prairie University Ultimate Championships. Max TV local on demand is at Forest Park in Saskatoon, and the pull is a brick. You know, they take a little break for halftime, you cool down a bit, you come out and it doesn't go where you're aiming in this cool weather. 8-4, let's talk a little bit, Bobby Anderson, about the first half, because it started with Manitoba really asserting themselves.
Yeah, Manitoba came out very strong. They put a lot of pressure on that Alberta offense. They played a lot of zone. We saw Alberta the first couple points looked a little shaky, and then they kind of found their rhythm, made a bit of a comeback. Then Manitoba just really using their strong offensive tools. We saw a lot of good hucks from them, and already again here they have an opportunity for a break.
And there it is, nicely laid up. Sarah Hoffman runs under it, and it's 9-4. So Manitoba picking right up where they left off. It starts with the tight defense and forcing a turnover, which they quickly parlay into this scoring strike. Into the end zone it goes. Sam Burridge put it up. Sarah Hoffman brought it down. 9-4.
Yeah, so we saw again there, that's kind of been the story for Alberta so far. They've had a couple of just underthrows. They've had a couple drops. It is pretty cold out here today, and they found their flow there for a little bit in the first half, so hopefully they'll be able to find that again so they can go on a bit of a run here.
Just a couple degrees above zero at game time. +2. And we're grateful that it's not a real breezy day, but every now and again it comes up a bit. Generally speaking, though, it's the prairies, so not that breezy for ultimate.
Yeah, lots of these players are very used to playing in the wind, so this feels like a pretty calm day.
There's a look at the Manitoba line in the end zone getting set for the pull, and I had to chuckle just a little bit watching Brianne Warren stand there waiting for the pull. She had her arms crossed in that posture.
Well, Brianne Warren had an excellent game. She definitely did not look cold out there.
No.
Had a couple goals, lots of great deep strikes, and a couple defense plays as well, so she's having a great game so far.
She just doesn't want to stand still. Let me go. And a turnover again, and Manitoba quickly making them pay. Not quite into the zone, so it's not a point, but they're right there knocking on the door is Lamb. Amy Lamb sets it up across to Zhu. Just survey looking for a play now, and she'll find somebody open deep on the left side, but it's out of the reach of Colleen Soriano, who can't go up and get that one. A pretty firm toss, and it sailed a bit.
Yeah, it was a good look, just thrown a little bit too high and just out of the hands of her receiver.
Alberta gets away with that turnover.